going to try to get through this last one without crying. Really, I am going to try. But this is the one that bothers me the most. And it didn't bother you the most, but it bothered me the most. It turned out to be an unintentional lie that I told. And I didn't know it at the time that what I was saying wasn't true. Everybody, I am so happy to see you today. Thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi. I so hope you had a good, safe week. And I know there is so much tragedy in the world right now. So all I'm going to try to do today is put out a good video for you and give you a little bit of escape for 20 minutes. But I thought today what I would do is something completely different. I think. In the last year, I have said some things that I feel needed clarification. I think maybe some things I said hurt your feelings, or maybe it wasn't understood. Some things, they just kind of fell out of my mouth, and I don't seem to have much of a filter. So I wanted to go through about 5 things today that I needed to explain. And, in politics, they say, if you're explaining, you're losing. But in real life, I think if you're explaining, it just shows how much you care about what that other person is thinking, feeling. And I do care. So, yeah, I am going to be doing some explaining today. And I think it's going to be a win-win for all of us. I'm hoping by the end of the video, this will spark a conversation and maybe you'll chime in and say, I'm so glad you clarified that, because that did hurt me when I heard you say that. So I'm so glad you're here. And did you notice I got my green earrings on for St. Patty's Day? So a very happy St. Patrick's Day. It's just coming up in just a few days. So let's dive in and see if I can clarify what I said, or maybe I'll make it worse. My grandfather was a very religious man. He told me once that all lessons in life can be found in playing chess. So I learned how to play chess. I got pretty good at it. Good at chess, bad at life. For those of you who have been with me a long time, you know that when I'm at the thrift store, I have absolutely no filter. I pick up something and then I just free associate and I say anything that comes into my little tiny brain. And I leave it in because I think, what the heck, right? Well, when I said that I was good at chess and bad at life, I really heard a lot from you out there saying, please don't ever say that again. Please don't ever say you're bad at life. That hurt my heart when you said that. Well, when you wrote me that hurt my heart. And I felt like, yeah, I better talk about this. What did I mean by I'm bad at life? I've been married 3 times. I never felt like I fit in life. I could never conform. I was always writing poems, writing short stories, writing songs. That's what I lived for. That's what I loved. And I never fit in anywhere. And I wasn't making any real money. Because I was raised by myself, I think I just put walls up so I never could have that really close, warm relationship with people that I wanted to so badly. So yeah, I wasn't very good at life, right? I didn't follow A, B, C, D to get to the top of that mountain, right? I didn't. But what did happen is at 67, right now, I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm more at peace. I'm more in touch with my life, my faith, my family, the things I want to do in life. I allow myself to feel love and gratitude. And every day is like better than the day before. I'm not saying there aren't crappy days, because there are. So, was I really all that bad at life if I ended up here? I don't know. In life, people try to mentor us. They do try to help us. They try to show us the path, that if we take this path, we will find happiness. But I don't think that one size doesn't fit all when it comes to the path or the shoes that we're given to walk in this life. That we each need to find our own path. And I never really did find my way until one day I woke up with nothing. And I was still standing. And as much as I loved Aunt B, yeah, I'm not into canning pickles. Not yet. A few months ago, I was talking about how Aunt B in the Andy Griffith Show was like 20 years younger than I am like right now when she was in the show. And I said, flippantly, I said, well, you know, I'm not ready to be canning pickles. And that was in reference to one of the best episodes ever. You know, one of the pickle prize contests that Aunt B would enter with her friend Clara. For those of you who are familiar with the Andy Griffith Show, I was not in any trouble at all. Where I got in trouble was people who didn't know anything about that show, and you thought that I was putting women who can jam or pickles, or I don't know anything about that, and I won't pretend I do, but anyway, you thought I was putting down women who can things, which I think that's so cool, and it's a wonderful family tradition. Anyway, I wasn't. I wasn't, and I don't know if I would have said it any differently. There's nothing wrong with looking like Aunt B. There's nothing wrong with being Aunt B. It's our choice. It's our freedom, right? We can do whatever we want. We can can pickles until the cows come home. Now I'm going to get in trouble again. Loose lips sink ships, right? For me, right now, this is what 67 looks like. And I'm going to try to stay fit and healthy and happy. And I have a lot I want to do. When I would look in the mirror 8 years ago, I saw a woman who lost everything. I saw a loser. I almost wanted to take that video down because I said that. And my fear was that you would think that I think a woman down on her luck, or a woman that can't qualify for a mortgage, or a woman who doesn't have a car or whatever, that I would label her a loser because of her financial situation or her marital status or how she looks. I mean, I was horrified that anybody would think that. I never, ever look at somebody and go, oh boy, what a loser. I mean, if I have somebody in my life that talks like that, they're not in my life. I can't handle people exerting that, you know, that superiority over someone because of a status, because of whatever the circumstances of that person's life. They judge it, and it's painful. So I wish I so would have said that in a different way. Yes, I did look in the mirror, and I was mortified that I had gotten into that situation where I lost the property, I lost the money, I lost my marriage. I don't need to go on here. Most of all, it hurt me because I felt that I had gone down a few pegs in my son's eyes. And I remember looking in the mirror and feeling like, yeah, but that is something I probably shouldn't have shared. If I had it to do over again, I wouldn't have shared it, because yes, it's the truth, but it gives the false impression that that's the kind of person I am. And I promise you, I'm not, but I know you already know that. And a few of you said, I don't want you to ever call yourself a loser again. So I know you misunderstood what I said, but I just love you so much that you cared enough to write that. And it feels kind of good today to clear the air about this. Yeah. Desi, what are you doing? Are you strangling your favorite toy there? Can you share your toy with me? Can you share your toy? Yeah, maybe? There we go. I was talking to you about why I thought sometimes my marriages didn't work out. And I kind of threw it out there. I was just so independent, and I had so many things I wanted to do, and I just didn't want to be half of a couple. And that phrase, half of a couple, it really offended some of you who were happily married or in a committed relationship with someone, and you didn't feel like you were half a couple just because you were in love. And you took issue that I said that. And at first I got kind of defensive, like, well, that's how I feel, and that's just me. Well, and then I really thought about it. I threw it out there, I don't want to be half a couple. Yeah, fine. But it's something that I wish I hadn't said, and it's something that I stopped saying, even though I do think it's kind of funny. But I'm not going to say that because people misinterpret it. One of my very best friends, and you know who you are because I know you watch my videos, and we were so close, and we would go out and we'd get in so much trouble together. We had so much fun. And then she got married, and suddenly, like, her Facebook profile picture it wasn't just her beautiful face anymore. It was her and her husband. And he was everywhere. And so, you want to go shopping? And she'd say yes, and she'd show up with her husband. I started teasing her. You become half a couple. And that's how it came about. So it was kind of innocent, and I thought it was funny. Well, yeah, it's funny between me and my girlfriend. It's not so funny here. So I'm not going to say that anymore, because the last thing I want you to think is that I am disrespecting your relationship or your marriage. Just because you are in love, you are indeed not half of a couple. Do you think even the most beautiful house on the lake can save a troubled marriage?
No.
No?
No.
It was a beautiful summer day, and there we were. We were on Lake Michigan, and he was showing me this beautiful house that he was building for some very wealthy people. And it was breathtakingly beautiful, with a beautiful view. And I asked him, do those people know how lucky they are? And he said, I hope so. It turned out to be a unintentional lie that I told. And I didn't know it at the time that what I was saying wasn't true. I was talking about a year ago about I've only had 2 serious relationships in the last 10 years with 2 different men. And I said this last gentleman, oh, by the way, they're both getting married. One is already married. So I was saying, well, they didn't work out because I didn't love them. They didn't love me enough for 2, and I didn't love them, so it didn't work out, so we parted ways, and blah, blah, blah. A few months ago, I've been going through some real estate dealings, and I called my friend. I'm so lucky we're still friends, and I needed him to answer some questions for me. I was going to ask him some things, and I know that's his expertise, and he called me back. He is such a nice man, and he humored me. He called me back, and he said, you know what? I got to tell you something, Susie, before we go on. I have a special lady in my life. We're living together, and we're engaged. We're going to get married. I thought to myself, the only thing missing to that is, and we're going to have a baby. It's like, oh, dear Lord. Well, we broke up a long time ago, right? A couple years ago. You would have thought somebody hit me over the head with a shovel. I mean, I couldn't even get my breath. I couldn't even talk. It was like I just figured I loved him. He loved me. We would just be together, break up, be together. We just wander in and out of each other's lives until finally the timing was right and we'd be together. I did love him. I'll always love him. I have never heard of a delayed reaction to your ex getting married before. I mean, I went through this last year and I was, pretty like, oh yeah, I feel kind of weird. But it wasn't like this. This was like all the emotion and the hurt that I should have felt when we really broke up, it all came to a head. About a week later, we had a very quick cup of coffee. I was so happy to see him, and he helped me with all my questions and set me on a good path. And I said, I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you. And, he and his future wife are going to build a house together, and he's in love, and I'm happy for him. But he knows it's just going to take a little bit of time for me to get 100% there. And he looked at me and he said, we only saw each other once a week. We only dated on the weekends. I mean, granted, it was on and off for 3 years, but... And I realized at that time that what I looked back on as romantic and lovely and exciting, he looked back on with pain. He looked back on it with frustration. He wanted something serious. He wanted me to love him as much as I loved my work. I had a dream. There were things I wanted to do, and I could only do those things on my own. The times at midnight when I was thinking of him, I should have called him up and said, there's a big spider in my bathroom. Can you come over and help me kill it? Just to see him. I should have given him that affection and that love. But something held me back. I just felt this desire that if I didn't make it on my own, things would go right back to how they were in my life, where I was dependent for everything in my life on my husband. And I didn't want that again. I wanted to come to him whole. And I couldn't do that and give him the attention that he needed. I fell in love with cameras and lenses and learning how to film. I sacrificed. I said, I want so desperately to learn this craft of communication. And I have to shut out so many of these things that could distract me or take my heart away from what I really want to do, my goals. And I thought to myself, he understands that and he'll wait for me. And he didn't. And good for him. So I wish I hadn't said that, because it was a lie. I loved him. And he asked me. I told him, there's only been 5 men in my life I've ever really loved. I can count them on one hand. And he said, am I on that hand? Sometimes I think I fool myself. Sometimes I think I believe the things I want to believe. And I realize now, if I should ever be so lucky to meet someone that I care about, no matter what goals I have, because I've reached so many of them. Let's say it's midnight. There's a spider in my bathtub. I'm going to call him. Oh, yeah. I'm going to call him. I'm going to have him come over. And spider or no spider, it's going to be great. Wow. So these beams keep the house straight.
Yep.
And then you tear them all out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that roof is like a cathedral.
Like a maze of 2x4s, isn't it?
Oh, Bob, it's just so beautiful. Do you think these people know how lucky they are?
I hope so.
Oh my, well here we are, the last snowfall before spring. I'm ready. I'm so ready for spring. Desi is all ready for St. Patty's Day. Hey everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I loved every second of it, and Desi did too. If you get a chance down below, could you just let us know how you're doing? Anything you want to share would be great. Please have yourself a happy, safe, brand new week. And when you're done with your week, come back and see me and Desi, okay? All right, it's a deal. We'll always be here. Anything you regretted? Oh, just barking at your girlfriend. Yeah, you don't like that, do you?